Intuition secrets. So you see that red sky back there? We have been getting chemtrailed for the last, I don't know, almost a week. So it's leaving some nice colors in the sky. It almost looks like Hawaii with the volcanic ash in the air. So I guess that chemtrailing leaves like that residue that when the sun hits it, it causes that red glow. So what is going on? What is going on? So we were supposed to get snow this last Saturday. And where did the snow go? All right, because they were chemtrailing the crap out of us for days before our weekend snow event was supposed to start. And it's been warm. All right. The snow that we had on the ground is all melted now. Where did the snow go? Oh, where did the snow go? Where did it go? It went to Chicago, and they had the snow of Chicago on Saturday that they've ever had in history. That's where the snow went. Now, interesting, right? So a lot of times when we see the chemtrailing, we're thinking, oh, the baddies, those baddies, they're doing bad things. But maybe the good guys are starting to use those same techniques, because for, I would say, almost 2 decades, I've been predicting storms, hurricanes, and all that stuff. And my prediction rate has been at least 90%, sometimes like perfect every year. So I predict every year. So this last year, I predicted 3 hurricanes that will be Hurricane 5+. So the top category plus. And we had 3 of those hurricanes, but they didn't hit U.S. soil where I said they would hit. They went out to sea. How about that? So I think we're seeing the white hats are in control of a lot of things. We've heard that for quite some time. Now, I was complaining because one of the areas where I said was going to be hit in like the South Carolina area, Georgia, South Carolina area, it was hit, but it was with a low category, right? It was going to be big, and then it went low, right? So that was good. So I talked about how at sea, they have these ships that are out there that make these weather hurricanes very massive. All right. So I showed it on a platform one time, and I said, look at this, and past last year, this is what we were doing. People have been, talking about it. I talked about it, and I said, wouldn't it be nice if, like my old SEAL Team 6 boarded some of those boats and stopped that? They stopped. They stopped, because that's what we did at SEAL Team 6. We had boarding capabilities. I was like the first guy up. I was the lead climber. And it was kind of hairy climbing up that caving ladder from a moving boat and a speedboat. And it was rocking up and down. You had to have your timing down. You got up to the top. Could have been somebody at the top with a gun, so you had to come up with your gun the last minute. That was kind of hairy. And then once I got up there, I would carabiner it in so that the bottom guys could come up, and I'd signal them, and then everybody came aboard, and then we took the ship down. So good stuff. Was it employed against those ships that were causing hurricanes? I think it was. I think it was. All right. So I've been saying that I think that Special Forces teams have been very active in the United States, and I think they took down the baddie ships that were causing hurricanes, guys. All right. So again, we know that Chicago is resisting the National Guard. Although there are some National Guard that are supporting a very minor role, you have, very, very corrupt people that are there, the governor and the mayor. And today in President Trump's, I guess they did like a cabinet meeting today. I watched some of that. He talked very unnice about them, said they were idiots, and I don't know what he said, but I completely agree. And I've been saying it myself for quite some time. So I've said on a show with Scott McKay last night, I was on his channel, and I basically unloaded. I said, we are going to start to slaughter these people. I just went off. And I also said that I believe very strongly, because I've seen this overseas, when I was in Iraq, when I was in Afghanistan, the Delta and SEAL Team 6 guys, I was in contact with them, having been part of those programs and knowing some of those guys. I knew that they were out. Remember those deck of cards? The 52 deck of cards had all the Saddam Hussein's bad people. And then seems like every few days they were like, okay, we got this one, we got this one, we got this one. Well, in the middle of the night, 0 dark 30, those baddies are being taken down. No one knew. No one knew, except those baddies. Okay, I knew. And of course, those guys who were taking those baddies down, they knew. And so I also talked to a buddy of mine, SEAL Team 6 buddy of mine, just before we went in and got Osama bin Laden. I was talking to him in Pakistan, in Islamabad, and he said, Mike, you would not believe how many people we are slaughtering, the bad guys in Afghanistan. If the public knew how many we were slaughtering, they'd probably shut us down. That's why you guys don't know, right? So that's why you guys don't hear about it, because you don't understand. Some people have to be slaughtered. Some people are bad to the core, and then they have protection. And if you let those people speak out, then they will protect them. So there's slaughtering going on. There's slaughtering going on. All right. So be assured of that. Now, I've seen some of the videos from Chicago where they talk about how ICE and military backup. So what I saw was some of the techniques that the very highest level operators use. SEAL Team 6 and Delta guys. I saw that. I saw the movements where they were like, coming in with helos and vehicles and all that kind of stuff, and taking up positions and taking down, doing room clearance and all that stuff. I was like, that's not just a bunch of SWAT guys and ICE guys. That's top tier. That's tier 1 activity, and they're taking down the baddies. All right. So, it's time for you guys to know it's happening. Weather warfare against the baddies. All right. So you have these snowstorms come in. You don't have people coming in and rioting and getting in between law enforcement or somebody else when they're taking down baddie positions within the city of Chicago. Right. So that's what we saw, I believe, in the middle of the night, 0 dark 30, when everybody's asleep, dreaming of sugar plum fairies, right, and candy canes, dancing in their heads. They don't hear the door kicking and slammings and maybe some pop-ups and so forth that are going in some of these places. All right. Maybe some people are hearing it. Maybe they call the police and they're like, yeah, we got some activity there. We're good. You're safe. Don't worry about it. All right. So maybe some of that stuff is going on, guys. I'm pretty sure it is. All right. So there you go. Snowiest day in what they call it, Saturday. So we were supposed to be getting that snow. Chicago got that snow. Yeah, my ski time and people's ski time here in Lake Tahoe, it'll come. It's okay. Take care of the baddies. And if you have to take all the snow to take care of the baddies, and we don't have rioting and cities being destroyed from these people like a lot of us believe are coming, but you can avoid that by using weather warfare against them, please do. Please do, right? You will not get any complaints from me and a lot of people that are aware. All right, so let's look at this. Saturday was the snowiest day in history in Chicago. Chicago, the Windy City. All right, Saturday was snowiest November day in Chicago as nearly 9 inches blanketed parts of the city. So that was supposed to be like well over like 2 or 3 feet that we're supposed to be getting this last weekend. But we didn't get anything. And Chicago got 9 inches. I think they're going to get a little bit more. So wave after wave is going to Chicago, where the baddies are, and the people are like, please take the baddies down. And you have, the governor and the corrupt city officials and mayors and so forth. They're like, no, there's no problem here. Stay away with your baddie getters, right? We like the baddies because they make us money and we're in control. We like that. They're going to go bye-bye. Those guys are like dead men walking. Slaughtering is coming, right? For a lot of these officials, right? So while we're taking down the bad guys, there's being evidence taken. I promise you that's going to lead back to a lot of these people. And these people will be held accountable if they haven't already. And maybe they're just playing a facade right now. Or maybe somebody else is playing a facade for them. I don't know. But it's happening. I've seen this. I've seen this, right? I've seen people that dress up and look like locals, like myself, right? I've shown you guys pictures where I used to dress up, and I looked like a guy that was our interpreter. I could transform. So when I see some of these people like Joe Biden, he didn't even look like Joe. Trump was hammering him again today. He said like 30 years ago, Joe Biden was like useless. And he was like, he brought our country almost to its knees. And he did. His administration, even playing behind the scenes, absolutely did that. If it wasn't for the fact that Trump was and team, commander-in-chief, during that time frame, it would have been catastrophic. America would have been lost. So we had 2 basically, countries, I guess. The one that Trump was running, so he's on his 3rd term now, and the one that the deep state baddie guys were running, right? And they were kept at bay. They were kept under control. They still did a lot of stuff to show everybody, just how bad it could have been. And it was to a certain extent, but we'll look back on this time and be very thankful that the military has been in control for the last going on 9 years now. So very, very good thing. Dumbs being taken down during the last 4 years, and now the action is above ground. So that's what's going on right now. So are there alternatives? Now we were probably going to see something happen with Maduro, right? I think they're trying to find a place for him to go. And in the meantime, they're like making him look like he's a tough guy. They did the same thing with Noriega. Noriega's still in, federal penitentiary here in the United States. So he got to play, we called him Pineapple Face. So he got to play for a little while and thought he was all badass. And we finally got him. Just like we're going to get all these other guys that are playing tough guy, right? So they can play tough, but their days are numbered. U.S. requested resumption of migrant flights to Venezuela. Pope Leo urges U.S. not to attempt military ouster of Venezuela's Maduro. So tough talk from stupid people. All right, what to know about Venezuela? President Nicolas Maduro, he's going to go somewhere else. Why is Trump threatening Venezuela's Maduro? Venezuela leader Maduro and his allies resist U.S. pressure, are they? Maduro resurfaces in Caracas as Trump says he has spoken to him. Maduro faces his ultimate fight as Trump threatens military action. Maduro rejects a slaves peace for Venezuela. Al Jazeera. All right. Trump rejected Maduro request on call. Options narrow. So that was a day ago. Maduro's strategy for staying in power in Venezuela is hard to blah, blah, blah. All right. Venezuela's Maduro spotted for the first time in days. Here's a New York Post. Venezuela's Maduro spotted first time. That stuff out of there. What is that? Get out of there. So Venezuela's Maduro spotted for first time in days, ending flight speculation. Did he? Or did he not? Is there some place that might take him? So they're talking of other places where he may be accepted, right? So maybe Russia's like, no. We're not going to take him. We're just going to have some Russian mafia guys like grab him and get the $50 million bounty. Don't send him here. And $50 million bounty. Where's he going to go? And, it's like all these countries are like, send him here. We could use the cash. So Maduro, his days are numbered, right? Whether he goes somewhere thinking that he's going to be safe and he's not, all right? So it could be a while. He could go somewhere and they're like, oh, yeah, you're free. We're not going to mess with you. But somebody's going to get him. Just like Zelensky. Is Zelensky, once everything's done, is he going to go to his multi-million-dollar home in Italy or Miami or, where's he going? So it's like, it's hard to say. But he's a dead man walking. There's a lot of dead men walking. A lot of governors, a lot of mayors, dead men walking, right? So it'll continue as long as they want to play the game, I guess, or create the facade of something there. But I think President Trump is being very skillful because he's never really done a war thing. He stops wars, but he's never done the war thing. He puts pressure on. I've done the pressure thing to people. I remember one time I was taking this guy. I was in a casino, security manager, and I got a call. It's like, can you come in? I got this guy here, and it might be a problem. So I come down. It's like a bar, and it's a dance bar, and everybody's having a good time. It's packed. They have their own security, and then we would help them and the casino security. So I come down there, and this guy's like, hey, I left my credit card in there, and my guy's like looking at me. He's like, yeah, they said he was kicked out. He wasn't allowed to go back, but he just wants to go get his card. I'm like, all right, I'll escort him in. So I'm looking at the guy. He's like, seem okay. He's a big guy. He's probably a little bit bigger than me at the time. But that doesn't intimidate me. No one intimidates me. So we're like walking in, and he's kind of like, I guess he had been already in there being an asshole, and he's walking through the crowd and it's like bumping people on purpose. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I got here? And people are like yelling at him. So I'm like, I'm gonna just get him in the bar and get out of here. So he goes to the bar and he talks to the bartender, and she gives him a drink because he's been tipping her and everything. So he's like, raises his hand. So she brings him a drink. I'm like, oh my God. And so these guys come up to me, two guys, big guys, and says, you don't get him out of here, we're going to kick his ass. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll get him out of here. So I'm like, I tell the guy, hey, you got to go. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And oh boy, it's going to be on here. So I'm like, yeah, you got to go. put your drink down. And so I took the drink out of his hand, put it down. He pushes me. And then I put my finger in his eye and I took him down to the ground. All right. So I have techniques, right? Just one finger in the eye. The guy goes down to the ground. And then the biggest guy in the security group, he was a good guy, comes up, cuff the guy, take him out. So we get him to the room that we use to basically turn him over to the police. We, give him trespass, he's trespassing. And so police come, and I'm looking at his eye. There's like a little mark there where I put my finger in his eye and put him down on the ground. So I'm like, he probably doesn't remember that, because I can apply pressure to you, and I've done it to other people, and you won't know what the hell's going on. And your body just does crazy things. I've done this many times. And you're like, you can't resist. You can't resist. And that's what Trump is doing. He's putting pressure on. He's not like smashing people. Some people get in these crazy fights. I've seen them just beat each other to hell. Sometimes just takes a finger. And I tell people, this finger, I will put you on the ground. And I've done it so many times, and with much bigger people than me. So, and I can take somebody's little pinky and put them on the ground. It's once you know these things, you know the way the human body works. Like Trump knows the way people think, the way they operate. Trump and team, of course. So knowing how people react to pain, pressure, and so forth, he's making it very painful for Maduro to stay there and exist there, and for the people of Venezuela to continue with Maduro there. So Maduro is going to go away, whether he gets a rocket up his ass or whether he, decides to go away. And live his life a little bit longer, it remains to be seen. So Trump and team are experts. Trump and team are using weather warfare. Trump and team are keeping the weather warfare and other activities that are going to be used. We haven't had any more directed energy weapon attacks, have we, here in the United States? And we haven't had those hurricanes. So the last hurricane season was going to be the worst ever, and we didn't even have any. So things are definitely turned around, guys. And the expertise is phenomenal. So I see this. I see it from my perspective, from my background and knowing things on another level. Because I've operated not just in the physical realm and control things on the physical realm at an unbelievable level, but also things in the unseen realms. I can have an effect on those realms, and I do that as well. So it's moving. It's moving in a good direction. Now, is it going to be perfect? No. Is it going to continue? Yes. Now, there are other things that are potentially here. Now, I did an interview with David Schmidt of LifeWave. Now, from my background, I've seen high tech on a level that most of you aren't going to see for probably another 20, 30, maybe in 50 years. All right, so I've seen amazing things. Even I've been away from that for almost 10 years now, but I still haven't seen some of the things I was involved with. And, the highest levels. SEAL Team 6, and then, of course, CIA. The toys in the CIA are way high speed, guys. All right. So a lot of technology that's there that's not going to be revealed for, I don't know, another year or so. Normally 20, 30 years, but maybe soon. Who knows? So one of those incredible technologies is from David Schmidt. Now, I've been to David Schmidt's laboratory, and I've seen a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I guess, I've seen his laboratory and I've seen his drone program. And his drone program is on a level that is far more advanced than all the technologies that are out there right now. Far more advanced. Now, during the I told him that I would, help him to potentially get it involved in other avenues and other places that I was familiar with. All right. But with the last administration, there was no way that was going to happen. And in fact, I talked about it a little bit on a show, and I got contacted, and I didn't feel right with some of the people that contacted me. So I'm just back burner. Now I'm ready to move forward. All right. So let me share with you some of the technologies that David Schmidt potentially could come in with. Now, we remember some people have, like Tesla, thought he could come out with a death ray, and it would be so horrible that humanity would not do war. Well, we see how that worked out, right? The bad guys got hold of that technology, and they've used it for evil. I think that the good guys have finally gotten that technology, control of the technology, and if the bad guys use it now, which I could be mistaken, but maybe they can bring it out again. Who knows? Maybe they'll just hit my house while I'm talking here. But they have used that technology on a lot of us. Direct-to-injury weapons have been used against me and other people, but not on the level, of course, where they just, melt the skin off our bodies like we've seen and turn us into ash like we've seen in Lahaina in LA. So, and other places throughout the world during the time of Biden's administration. All right. So all of that stuff is stopped since Trump's been in. So David Schmidt has these technologies, guys. So I'm gonna play a little piece of the interview that I did with him yesterday. You can watch the full interview on YouTube and on Rumble. But I'm going to get you to the spot where I was hoping I would get him there, because we have a really good rapport, David and I. I'm not saying that, he and I are on well, we kind of are. I could call him at any time. So he could do the same with me. But that's not how we work. That's not how we roll. So when we do have the opportunity to speak together, usually it reveals unbelievable stuff, right? So he did in my show again, but I don't think most people understand the level of unbelievable that he shared. So some of you out there that are maybe directly or indirectly in touch with some of the very high-speed guys, right? Maybe some of my SEAL Team 6 or some of the Delta guys, or who knows, maybe some other programs that are out there that even I'm not aware of these days. We could bring in some of these we could bring in these technologies. We could bring them in black, just like he's worked with the military before, the SEALs and everything, black projects. We could bring the stuff in black. No one would ever see it. It'd be dark, and no one would ever talk about it. But the capabilities would be on the amazing side, and they would be for the betterment of humanity. Yeah, that's fantastic. And so one of the things I was able to look at is your drone program. Now, having been in the military, especially in special forces at the highest tier levels, and in the CIA at the highest levels, I was exposed to extremely advanced technologies. But the technology I saw for your drone blew me away. And I was like, wow. So it's unbelievable. So the energy production, you were working in very early stages in the Navy in energy production, and it translated into energy production for the human body. But also you've taken it to an incredible level with your drone program. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this started out as a father-son project. I wasn't intending to create a business out of it. And after my son and I threw around a number of ideas, tried some different things. I thought, okay, this could go in a direction where we could actually create a revolutionary form of propulsion for drones and really change the way we think about drones. So we tried out a number of different things, ended up creating a technology that's hyper efficient.
Now the lift of his drones, his payload is far surpasses any other drone program out there. And the technology that's used to basically propel it, which is very, very amazing. What goes in as far as like, making the energy and what comes out. So as air comes in to make this, you have to have oxygen, air, so forth. And then it comes out cleaner than it went in. So it's on a very, very advanced level. So higher payloads, it can go further, longer. Like the longest a drone can go, I think right now, probably, he may even say it in here, I think he does, 24 hours, something like that. His drone can go 40 hours. And higher payload, it's super quiet. The technology is beyond anything anyone knows out there, and it's pretty amazing. Now, that's amazing in and of itself, but listen to what he goes into after.
And began experimenting with that. And as an example, if we took a drone like the MQ-9 MQ-9B from General Atomics, that might have a flight time of 24 hours. We're pushing over 40 hours of flight time with 20 to 25 gallons of fuel. So it's an extraordinarily efficient power plant and also non-polluting. We can fill this with petroleum fuel, and yet the CO2 emissions are at ambient. You can run this in a closed room, and there's no type of smoke or carbon monoxide or excessive CO2. It's only clean air that's coming out of it. Mm-hmm. So most mechanical engineers, when they see it, they don't really know what questions to ask because it's not possible in their book what's happening. But we're applying this to drones first for humanitarian purposes, for border security. We'd like to get involved in shutting down drug trafficking. So we've been speaking with some people in the U.S. about that. It's been a horrible problem here in the U.S. And so we'd like to donate our drones for that purpose. But then beyond that, we see an opportunity of creating energy independence. So the idea is this would be a 20 kilowatt system. You connect it up to your home. It can power your home, your electric vehicle if you have one, and generate enough excess electricity that you're selling that back to the grid. So that's probably about 5 years away, but the technology exists today.
Wow, it's fantastic. No, I've talked about your drone program, and I've been approached by several people, but I'm very protective. Yes, of course. And then I'm glad you just put that out, because that kind of like reaches a little bit further out there. So some of the people who are out there, I know I have a big military audience. If they're curious, they can contact me, and I will do the research and find out if they're worthy or not. So it is definitely like we've talked about. You're under threat for having brought a lot of this technology out. This is there seems like the world right now is under incredible threat. Humanity as a whole. You brought in technologies that can counter what seems to be an assault on humanity right now, and I think that's fantastic. I think you, in a lot of ways, you have been given a lot of this information to be almost like a source to help humanity. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do my part and be a
You're
humble
humble guy,
servant,
but
you
yeah.
know. So, yeah, you know, so when there is, I think, a pretty extraordinary opportunity here, and I've been trying to think about this in a variety of different ways.
All right. So now you might remember I've talked about how I have the intuitive and remote influencing power to stop attacks, to like put bubbles up around vehicles and cities and so forth, that some of these cities that I put up a protective bubble around are still protected. Now he's going to go into this as a technology.
First, all of the basic biochemical mechanisms in the body, all of them are ultimately controlled with light. And then the light affects bioelectrical changes in the cell, and those bioelectrical signals initiate the biochemical changes. So this opens up some pretty extraordinary possibilities. So let's say, for example, you know, you were on the front lines and you were able to send a drone overhead, and all of a sudden the enemy was incapacitated with light because they were feeling love. And we were able to increase oxytocin levels in their body very, very rapidly. That's a technology that I've been looking at, completely non-destructive, not harmful. And yeah, ultimately, I'd like to see this going in the direction of, if we can change people's hearts and minds with light, maybe there'll be less conflict in the world. And we'll.
So how about that, guys? All right. So next level. We've talked about, you know, the consciousness and, you know, going into the golden age and so forth, stopping the war, stopping the conflict, but being able to do that, you know, not with guys like me because we're limited, but getting it to the point where there's technology which, you know, incapacitates people that want to do harm and evil and so forth. That sounds pretty cool. I'd like to see how that works out. So what do you guys think? So anybody out there that's interested in that, you know, I have a contact information. I have people that monitor that. So if you're interested in this, and not just a random, like I would like to know that, and you're just a random person. All right. So you just heard all you're going to hear. But if you're at a level where you can actually make an impact, you know, at the you know, military level or something like that, we'd like to hear from you. So if you're a baddie, we'll figure it out. You're not going to go any further. But if you're of the light and you're willing to you know, use these technologies that we just described there, we're definitely open to that. I think we're in the position now where some of these technologies are going to start to come out, guys. You know, the free energy, like David Schmidt was alluding to, 5 years out, but he said it exists now. So why would it take that long? Well, it's taken a period of time for some of his other technologies to get out, because there's a lot of resistance from a lot of different people, a lot of different organizations and so forth. There's not as much resistance now as there was, but it's still there. So we have to overcome these resistances. We have to overcome these industries and organizations and people that have a lot of power to stop this. All right. So again, if there's some of you out there that could possibly make an impact, then give us a little contact. All right. And, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. In God's time, it will. All right. So the stage is set. Big things are brewing, guys. So while we're trying to, you know, get our consciousness to a certain level, there are things that are happening to Earth and to the sun and to our solar system. 3i Atlas, you know, cruising around out there. Obviously, you know, I've talked about this. I'm probably going to have some more people on to dive deeper, like I've went a deep dive on that and shared a lot of good information on that. I've heard from other people that are having similar remote views of 3i Atlas and the beings that are on there. So is the stage being set for some of these beings to have an interaction? We'll see. It's a positive one, but of course there's negative beings on this earth that have been controlling us for quite some time. All right, so let's look at the stages set, like I said, for some of these things to come in. And they're coming in. And will they have an impact, or are there 3i Atlas type things happening that are reducing the impact of some of these earth change events that probably at this point, I believe, would have already happened? Is it going to be something that's going to be allowed to happen for a little bit, so everybody gets to see just how bad it could be, kind of like a Joe Biden event? I don't know. A Joe Biden event was like for 4 years, right? So I hope we don't have earth change events for that long. And if we do have one, the impact could be the point where it changes consciousness. So we have to be aware that we're getting close.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. Looking at the summit of Mount Kilauea on the big island of Hawaii. You can see it is very smoky today, as if it's getting ready to erupt again. We've been following Mount Kilauea for a long time, and it's been very active. It seems to be more active, though, right now as we're entering the full moon, supermoon stage, and we're also dealing with a lot of solar activity. We saw an X2 class solar flare 48 hours ago. These are the sunspots that are turning towards the Earth. Right now, as I do this video, they're comparing this sunspot region to the Carrington event region of 1859. This is what the sunspot region looked like back in 1850.
So the Carrington event was an EMP. Now, the EMP back then basically took out the telegraph wires. And that's the only, high-tech thing that we had back then. If it happened today, then pretty much everybody's car, solar would go down, electricity probably would get knocked out, power would probably get knocked out, of course, all the cell towers, no cellular activity. So that's what would happen if we had a Carrington event. Now we've seen the sun really kicking off a lot of energy. We've seen earthquake activity on a level unprecedented. We've seen, some tsunamis. We've seen earthquakes on an incredible level. Again, the threat of earthquakes has been very, very high. It's kind of surprising to me that they haven't gone off, because I've been anticipating them. And when I'm very skilled at predicting earthquakes as well. So the earthquakes have not gone off as I've seen them as well, guys. So there are things that are being held at bay, whether it's technology on Earth or something else, remains to be seen. But it seems like every couple days now we're getting like crazy energy that's coming out off the sun at us. And I've talked about this for years, how it was coming, and here we are in that window. Is it going to get worse? I think it will.
That produced the largest solar storm ever recorded. So they're comparing these to that event. So we'll have to wait and see if they behave like the Carrington event. Hopefully not, but that story's over here at spaceweather.com. Something else that's over there, a geomagnetic storm watch is in effect right now as I do this video, issued by the Space Weather Prediction Center over here at NOAA. A geomagnetic storm category G2 is predicted, possibly even a G3. And here's why. All
right. So today, many of us have been experiencing a lot of difficulty. There was some kind of line that was cut, severed on purpose or accidentally, or is it, the solar storm is already starting to creep in and starting to cause effects or so forth. But we've seen, some power systems and internet systems and so forth that have gone down. It's been difficult for us to do some of our shows today. So there is definitely some energies that are coming in that are disruptive at this point, and it could get even more intense.
Each stream of solar wind coming out of this large equatorial Earth-facing coronal hole, and it is a big one. I put the Earth inside the coronal hole for comparison purposes, and you can see just how big this coronal hole is compared to the Earth. The high-speed wind from the coronal hole is going to be joined by energy from the X2 class solar flare that occurred a couple of nights ago that produced a high-speed CME. That CME departed the surface of the sun right there at 09:0800 Zulu time, and it made it to the orbit of Earth. The dark ring you see right there, the green dot, and that black circle is the orbit of the Earth. The yellow dot is obviously the sun. If you measure how long it took the CME to get to the orbit of Earth, right there, it was 35 hours, 36 hours to be exact. That is moving very, very fast, nearly 4 million miles per hour. And guys, historically, we all know what happens during full moons and supermoons, especially heightened solar activity. The recent CME right here and strong X2 class solar flare sent a shockwave throughout the entire solar system. Almost.
Now that was a kill event, right? So if that had come straight at us, that would have been devastating for Earth. And we're getting little pieces of it. It was so big that the outer rings of it, like you just saw, have been hitting Earth. And that's what we've been experiencing. Some of us, maybe some of you out there have been having some difficulties as well with different things. But it is, we're getting close to some kind of event. Is this 3i Atlas here to help us weather this storm, or are we just going to get hit and that's just the way it is? It's coming.
A full halo CME, but not quite. We're expecting more of this activity coming up this week and the next weekend. These sunspots are going to be on the Earth-facing side of the sun for several days. That is a recipe for earthquake activity. We've seen this in the past, and we'll see it again in the future. Typically, when there's a full moon, especially a supermoon, heightened solar activity like we're seeing right now, that combination can produce large earthquakes. There's none on the map right now, but we'll see what happens over the next 48 to 96 hours. We could see a large earthquake somewhere on the Earth. Speaking of...
All right, so lots more snow storms, a lot more cold, record-setting cold, probably coming for a large portion of the United States, something I predicted last year. So be ready. That's right, Kim in Wisconsin, be ready, because you're in an area where it's going to get chilly, woo. All right, when we're in this, when I was at Bud's, we would do the little mind game with the students. And there was a chili where they go out in the water at the middle of the night, and it would be chilly, and we pull them back out, and we pull them out, and they do stuff, and so it's going to be chilly tonight. And then as the night went on, it's like, oh, it's getting chilly, and so and then started working on the brains, and some people are like, I'm out. All right, go ring the bell, and then. For the worst case, it was chilly, woo. All right. So we had chilly, and then it got colder, and you got chilly, and then you got colder again, and you got chilly, woo. And we, of course, have the students say that. So we tell them, all right, now it's chilly, woo. And they'd say chilly, woo. And so then we go, you know what's coming, right? And they'd shake their hands. It's like, what's coming? And they'd say, chilly, woo. And then it'd get a little colder, and then we put them out in the water again, and it was chilly, woo. All right. So imagine that you're going to the cold Pacific Ocean in the wintertime, and then you come out and the wind is blowing, and we like say, okay, take off your clothes. Yeah, chilly, woo. That's chilly, woo. All right, guys, don't get chilly, woo-wooed. We don't want that. All right, stay warm. Cuddle up. Make sure you got some warmies. More people die in the winter than die in the summer. It's deep state, lie, bullshit, global warming. Oh, it's so scary. It's such a lie. Yeah. The Green New Deal, the Green Yukon deal. Yep. We're seeing how that's working out. So we have, President Trump coming back and correcting a lot of stuff. But I predict pain. I predict pain. So you have to be ready. We're trying to give you guys a heads up, get you ready for the craziness that's coming. President Trump is doing exceptionally good stuff, guys, and there are people behind the scenes doing exceptionally good work. But the deep state has had these plans for a very, very long time. But the good guys have had these plans for a very long time too, because Venezuela, when I was a SEAL Team 6, a long time ago, we had plans for Venezuela all the way back then. Yeah, that was like 25, almost 30 years ago. So, and now we're operating them. All right. So it's going to be good. It's going to be blood in the streets in Venezuela, though, and it's not because we're creating it. You know that the Nobel Peace Prize went to a woman in Venezuela because she was doing peace stuff. So these people that are down there, of course, they want peace, but they know who the problem people are, and when they get a shot at those people, yeah. Imagine being oppressed and having your country destroyed for decades by communists, by essentially Democrats. All right. Oh, buddy. You people in Chicago, you people in Illinois. Oh, buddy. All right. You people in New York. Oh, buddy. So I think it's going to be, I hope that it doesn't happen. I've talked about this. If things don't go a certain way, there'll be blood in the streets in America. I don't see it at this point. But in some circumstances, there is a possibility for that to happen. But the Trump administration is doing the best they can. But we have a lot of communists out there and Democrat baddies that are mind controlled. Right. So we're trying our best to unmind control them, to get them to see the goodness within themselves and others. Maybe David Schmidt's technology, a little drone flight would help out. I don't know. All right. But there is, who's that one woman that's in New York? Stefanik. Not Gwen Stefani, but Stefanik. So I got in trouble. I went to, like last year, we had a Life Wave concert. I was right in the front row. And I always liked Gwen Stefani. I liked her music. So I used that one time when I did a bodybuilding contest. I used I had a little clip where I was doing my posing routine, and there's one song in there where she's talking about a performance deserving of a standing ovation. Dun 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 dun. So I'm like posing to that, and that was the last piece of it, and then would go off stage and to applause, and so I saw her, and I was taking some video of her. I was like, I'm like a front row, Gwen Stefani. It's great, clapping, singing along, having a good time. So I took a video and I posted it. It's like Gwen Stefani, and then I was like, there for a while. Then I come back and I'm looking at the post. Everybody loved it, and it was like, you jackass, you don't realize that you're like, she's like made all the signs and everything. I'm like, oh my God. So I have to take it down. But they have ways to fool us. Yes. But who knows? Maybe she's got a good side. I don't know. So, or maybe we can fly she came to LifeWave and she said good things about LifeWave. Maybe we just fly a little drone over her place and get the good energy. And she goes, "Oh, I'm awake. I'm not bad anymore, and I don't want to sing baddie songs." All right, I don't know. It's funny. It is funny. Stefanik. So Stefanik basically came out today and hammered Mike Johnson because she came out with a bill that would basically expose all of the lies and the manipulations that they did with against Trump during his last administration. And Mike Johnson is siding with the Democrats to like, no, we're going to put that in the bill. And so she's calling him out. Stefanik, she should be the next governor of New York, and I think she's moving that direction. So that would be good. It's some frustrating things out there. You think you got some good people. You think you got a good singer like Gwen Stefani, and then they like, oh, you're bad. All right, what the hell? So we got to call them out where we see them, and people called it out. Elise Stefanik, yes, thank you. And so Elise, yep, she's amazing. So New York, I hope you get her. Oh my God. So if you get Mamdani in there, you guys got to resist that shit. So you're definitely effed if you get that boy in there. At least Stefanik, yep. So it's go time in a lot of areas. There's still cleanup has to be done. Mike Johnson playing with the baddies, trying to keep the deep state activity going. We got to call it out where we see it. All right. Now, come January, these Democrats are going to try and they're supposed to have a funding thing again, and they're going to try and shut down the government again, guys. They're not going to stop this time. I don't know how they're going to overcome that, especially when you have Marjorie Taylor Greene that's like abandoning the GOP, the Rhino. It's the Rhino. Good riddance, Rhino, MTG. And that gives us one less in the House for votes against these evil Democrats, guys. So Janet, you don't believe that Ma'am Dummy will be sworn in? I hope you're right. DJT, send him to Gitmo. Thanks. So yeah, so you talk to your squeezer, Janet, and you let him know. Right. So I know you guys are on good relationship. So at least that's what you keep saying. So I believe you. All right, guys. Lots of love. Stay in the love vibration. I'm going to eat some sausages and some burgers. So looking forward to it. And just make sure you got plenty of food on standby, guys, and water, or access to water. All right. Lots of love. See you guys next time.